We are back at Watkins Glen, New York, where the field is on the racetrack, making sure the track is completely dry for competition. It's still a little wet from the rain that we had yesterday and overnight. Right now, though, let's check the starting lineup for today's Winston Cup race. On the pole will be Terry Labonte in the Budweiser Chevrolet with a new track record, 117.956 miles an hour. Alongside will be Rusty Wallace in the number 27 Kodiak Pontiac. In row number 2, Jeff Bodine in the Levi Garrett Exxon Chevrolet, car number 5. Outside of that second row will be Tim Richmond, the defending champion in the Folgers Coffee Exxon Chevrolet number 25. Going to row number 3, the number 26 Quaker State Buick, driven by Morgan Shepherd. And outside will be Phil Parsons in car 55, the Fast Fair Skoal Classic Racing Olds. In row number 4, in the Motorcraft 4, number 15, Ricky Rudd. Outside of that fourth row will be the Tide Exxon Chevrolet, driven by Darrell Waltrip. Going to row number 5, the Coors Milling Ford, number 9, driven by Bill Elliott, and the Valvoline Pontiac car 75 with Neil Bonnet behind the wheel. In the 6th row will be Dale Earnhardt and Michael Waltrip. Row number 7 has Sterling Marlin and Dave Marcus. Going in row number 8 will be Benny Parsons in number 35 and Rick Wilson in 4. In the 9th row, Bobby Hillen Jr. in car number 8 and Harry Gant in 33. The 10th row, Alan Kulwicki and Dale Jarrett. Making up row number 11 will be Bobby Allison and Richard Petty. In row number 12, Ken Schrader and Kyle Petty. The 13th row consists of Derek Cope and Jocko Majacomo. The 14th row, Buddy Baker in 88 and Steve Chrisman in 62. Going to row number 15, it'll be Jimmy Means in car number 52 and Patty Moise in her first Winston Cup start, car number 89. In row number 16, J.D. McDuffie and Trevor Boyes. In row number 17, Davey Allison and Rick Knoop. In the 18th row, Tim Rotzel in number 81 and Rodney Combs in 64. In the 19th row, Buddy Arrington and Phil Good. And in the 20th row, starting 39th and 40th, Mike Potter in number 61 and Chuck Schrodel in car number 1. Those are the 40 starters that are getting set to go for 90 laps around this 2.428-mile racetrack. There are 7 corners on this racetrack. It's a very challenging one for the drivers. Larry has a further description of this race course.
Historic Watkins Glen. This course has been changed to a 7-turn, 2.4-mile course for the Winston Cup stock cars. Going down the pit straight, you can see the Formula One type paddock there on the right. You work up to 120, 130 miles an hour, and then, surprise, brake hard and head for what is known as the 90. It's called the 90 not because of miles per hour, but because of degrees. That's how sharp that corner is. It's a real tricky part of this racetrack. You spend most of the time in the S turns in 3rd gear. These are turns 2, 3, and 4. You leave the lowest elevation on the racetrack and head up for the highest elevation down the back straight. Reaching speeds of perhaps 175 miles an hour. There's a slight bump that you'll feel at 175 miles an hour as you head towards the loop. This is 270 degrees, the radius on this corner. You experience 1.3 Gs. That's about 5 times what you would pick up in a pleasure car exiting a freeway. Now headed towards turn 6 and turn 7. Turn 6 is one of 2 left-handers on this course. Turn 7, coming up after this left-hander, is the final one as you head for the pit straight. Following Kyle Petty here, Benny Parsons driving Elsie, trying to complete 1 lap, and the drivers to a man will tell you when asked, what is the toughest part at executing the Glen? Just surviving 1 lap safely.
When you get close to Watkins Glen, the little village at the base of the hill that we are sitting atop of, you can feel the history surrounding this place, Larry.
Bob, you really can. They have raced here since the late 1940s. Of course, much of its history surrounds road course racing, sports car racing, but it's very exciting to have the Winston Cup stock cars here. The Winston Cup drivers tell us this track is perhaps one of the better suited road courses that they have found for their 3,500-pound monsters.
Last year, it was a tremendous race with Tim Richmond winning, and we expect an equally exciting race here this afternoon. There are clouds in the sky, but no rain, at least for the moment, here at Watkins Glen. We'll be right back.